Welcome to Cape Breton Movers and Shakers, where we have conversations with people who are doing positive things here in Cape Breton. I'm Richard Lorway, president of goCapeBreton.com, and today I'm speaking with Sabrina Vatcher, CEO of YMCA Cape Breton. Welcome, Sabrina.
Thanks, Richard. Thanks for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. So firstly, congratulations on your new position as CEO, and how are you settling in?
It's been quite busy. I've only been here for just over 3 months. It feels like a lot longer than that. Lots of activity, lots of exciting things going on at the YMCA of Cape Breton. So settling in, still lots to learn, no question about that, but loving every minute of it.
Excellent. Excellent. So first, can you tell me a bit about yourself? Like, where did you grow up and what did you do before the Y?
Sure. So I actually grew up in Petit de Gras, which is in Isle Madame in Cape Breton. So spent my life there, raised by my mom and my grandmother. Very French Acadian community, so hold that close to my heart for sure. So yeah, and so of course went to university off island, but made my way back here about 15 years ago. Married a boy from the pier, so
Oh, well, good for you.
had to make our way back home here. And since that time, we have 3 beautiful girls, Ashley, Emma, and Sophia, who all attend the French school. So I always say, my job doesn't start till I get home at 5 o'clock every day, because they can definitely keep us busy. So
Right.
yeah. So just love being back in Cape Breton and have had tremendous experiences with the organizations I've been working with since returning here.
Right. So I know you did a stint with New Dawn Enterprises, correct?
Yes. Yeah. So
What'd you do there?
yeah, so I joined New Dawn back in 2010, and I started as their director of healthcare. So
Right.
overseeing home care, their long-term care facilities like the New Dawn Guest Home, Home Living, as well as their Meals on Wheels programs. And then in about 2016, I had the opportunity to become their director of operations. And so along with all of the responsibilities with healthcare, also took on the real estate portfolio. So if anyone knows New Dawn, they're very well versed in commercial and residential real estate.
Oh, yeah.
And then just overall operations for the organization as well. So I did that for about 4.5 years before coming here to the Y.
Right. And just so we know, I mean, that's where we met each other. At that time, I was on the board of the New Dawn. And so, yeah.
I feel like you might have been the chair when I entered, or the next chair anyway. It was very early on.
I think I was, it was the year before I was chair that you joined New Dawn.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
That's how time fast goes by, isn't it?
exactly.
Yeah.
Which is a nice segue. Like, well, so I'm obviously older, and when I was growing up in the 60s, literally, the Y was, kind of, it was a different building then in those days too. It was the old building, and I used to go to swimming lessons there. So I guess I kind of thought of it as a pool and a gym, and then teen social clubs like dances and things.
Yeah.
But the mission has obviously changed. How is the Y different today?
I would say the mission hasn't changed, but it has certainly grown and expanded. So the YMCA of Cape Breton has been around, one of the longest standing charities in Cape Breton since 1886. So they've been around for about 135 years, which is really incredible. And thanks to the work of the hard working volunteers and the WISE clubs, it has been through many iterations. It had, we've always been in the downtown core, but had a structural fire back in the 40s and had to rebuild and, have expanded to not just being a gym. It's so much more than that. But of course, that's what people are, reminded of in their youth. But when I look at all YMCAs across Canada, such diversity and how they've evolved to meet the needs of the community over the years. For sure, the Frank Retterham facility here on Charlotte Street in Sydney has been standing since about 2011. So again, where the original Y was, but thanks to a number of donors and community partners and various levels of government, we're able to build this incredible 60,000 square foot facility here in downtown Sydney. So for sure, the flagship, for the YMCA of Cape Breton, incredible services and programs, fitness facilities, cycle rooms, childcare on site, gymnasium, incredible, beautiful pool for anyone who hasn't been there. It's quite something to take part of. But beyond that, with getting into childcare and early learning, we've now do before and after school programs. We've been in employment services since the early 80s. And so it's really grown to meet the needs of individuals. And although the YMCA's across Canada are similar, there are a lot that make them unique as well, but very diverse in the services we offer and building healthy communities, because really that is the mission of the YMCA of Cape Breton.
Right. So you, in a way, you have services for everybody throughout their life cycle, right? From
Yeah.
the time they're old enough to go to daycare to
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, the motto is, at every age and at every stage. So whether you need childcare or whether it's community programming such as swimming lessons or child mining, if you want to come work on the facility, we have child mining here as well. Moving into employment services for individuals or barriered individuals or what have you. So really there's something here for everyone at the Y. Yeah.
Right. So she mentioned this is your flagship location, the one that's actually in my background graphic right there.
That's great.
But anyway, so you have other locations?
Yeah, so we also have a partnership with Member 2, where in their Member 2 sports and recreation facility, we operate the gym known as the YMCA in Member 2. So that facility, I'm going to have to check. I'm going to check my stats on that one. I think that one's about 6,000 square feet,
Right.
Full fitness facility, as well as a fitness studio as well for us to do some programming. And just after Christmas, we have kids hip hop there. We have yoga up at the Member 2 fitness facility. So we're really excited about that. We do, as I mentioned, before and after school programs in 4 elementary schools here in the CBRM. And just recently, we've expanded employment services. So we have Nova Scotia Works offices in St. Peters, Port Hawkesbury, Inverness, and interim services in Shettycamp and in Arishat.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's not just Cape Breton County, it's Cape Breton.
We are the YMCA of Cape Breton. Yes. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So you referenced volunteers, and is a large part of your organization, are they volunteers?
A large part is volunteers. So this is an interesting fact. If people don't know this, all of our instructors who deliver our fitness classes, so we offer about 80 classes a week at the Y, are mostly all driven by volunteers. So
Okay.
Volunteers who teach spin and Zumba and group power and you name it. And, in the pool, in the center, mostly all volunteers that deliver those programmings. And then we have a number of youth who come in and volunteer as well. So they might volunteer in the pool to help teach swimming lessons or help with children's programs on Saturday mornings. So lots of volunteer opportunities, always looking for more volunteers, no question about that. And we just couldn't do what we do without the support of the incredible team of volunteers that we have here.
Okay. So if I want to volunteer at the Y, what's the process? How do I get started?
Yeah, you can go on our website and fill out an application. There are a couple of criteria that we would require, like a clear criminal record check and a vulnerable sector check, as
Right.
well as currently with COVID, double vaccinated individuals would have to be double vaccinated to volunteer. Or you can drop by the Y at 399 Charlotte Street, and we'd be happy to talk to anybody who'd be interested of giving of their time to help the Y.
Excellent. Okay. So you made a reference to COVID, and that does lead to my next question, is that most recreational facilities have been really impacted by the pandemic. How have you guys made out?
Yeah, it hit hard. I wasn't here at the time, but back when everything started in March 2020, the facility closed almost immediately when that started back in March of 2020, eventually reopening. And of course, membership had declined significantly at the time and attempting to rebuild and then closing once again in 2021. But again, trying to rebound from that. And then with the on and off restrictions regarding capacity. So up until actually yesterday, the 14th, we were at 50% capacity in the facility. So that would be for the wellness center, the children's programming, the fitness classes, but as well as our Nova Scotia work centers, declining that capacity as well to make sure that we were keeping our staff and our clients safe at all times. So just trying to, go with the flow of the restrictions as they increase and as they decrease, but really doing it with a lot of positive attitude. I would tell you, even with these restrictions and being at 50%, the Y is alive. Whether you go into, the Member 2 fitness facility or here at the Frank Rutterham, People are here, they're in the pool, they're in the gym, they're participating in programming. And I have to tell you, I did a lot of member engagement and trying to meet as many members and volunteers when I first started here at the Y, and over hearing that, we can't have the Y close again. This is my space. This is where I come from, my own mental health, my own wellness. So really seeing it as an essential service to get people through these incredibly, unprecedented times that we have with COVID. So to be able to have made it through and hopefully seeing the other side of it, we're really excited to be able to open the doors 100% and really let the community in.
Yeah, I think one thing the pandemic has really enforced for me is the notion that we are a social species. And
Mm-hmm.
we don't do well in isolation.
No,
And
no, I'd agree
we're
with you
seeing
there.
that, and yet we've sort of all had to go through this, and hopefully, fingers crossed and toes, we're at the end of that. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So what other challenges does the Y face?
I would say, just trying to get some membership back through the doors, although we have something for every age and stage, again, COVID has really forced people into isolation to the point of, like, do they feel safe going out into community and interacting socially? So really wanting to let people know that this is a safe space. We're very welcoming, lots of health protocols, but really just wanting to get people using this facility. It's 60,000 square feet and it's here for use for anyone, for individuals, there is a membership fee. For those that can't afford a membership fee, we have financial assistance, and our motto is, we don't turn anyone away. So if you can't
Right.
afford it, how could we work with you to make sure that it is affordable, whether it's for your children, whether it's for a senior, whether it's for a family. We will just work with anyone to make sure that they can take part in our programming. Yeah.
Super. So you also mentioned you're one of the oldest charities in Cape Breton. So I'm assuming that you're fundraising, constantly fundraising. Is that
Yeah. We're pretty quiet on the fundraising front, that's for sure, but I think there's lots of opportunity there, especially, there's so many programs that could be supported here at the Y. We had an incredible capital campaign, like I said, when we opened the Frank Rutherham facility
right?
back in
I remember that.
2010 and 11, and since then have more relied on special events. So I'm sure people are familiar with the Y Toonie draw or the Y Lotto ticket or our Monte Carlo events, and again, not to talk about COVID, but when those happens, the special events literally went away overnight. So lost a lot of opportunity when it comes to bringing in those important dollars for the financial assistance program. We have the Strong Kids campaign is for, for kids who can't afford to take part in our camps to provide financial subsidies, and then just overall programming, being able to afford that. So we really look to making a priority in fund development over the coming years. I come with a fund development background, having worked with the Cape Breton Regional Hospital Foundation for some time, and the Heart and Stroke Foundation of Nova Scotia, Canadian Cancer Society of New Brunswick. And I can tell you, we have an incredible case for support, but we just really haven't gotten out there. We've been quiet about it, but we really need to share our story and let people know why they can support the Y and how they can do that. So we've got some work to do to make sure that we're able to share our story. That we've been quiet, but we've got to get out there and let the people know about all the incredible work that we're doing here at the Y.
Excellent, excellent.
Yeah.
So looking forward into the future, how do you see the YMCA evolving?
Oh, well, for me, now that we have our footing in other communities, thanks to our employment services centers, I really want to become the YMCA of Cape Breton. What we're doing here in the CBRM with programming and for children and youth and seniors, really, there's no reason why we can't take that island wide. And will it be as big as a 60,000 square foot facility in some of these communities? Probably not. But what version of that can we do to make sure, again, that we're helping to build strong communities, not just in the CBRM, but right across the island? Lots of opportunity coming with childcare, I would say, with the new Canada-wide early learning agreement. So how can we play a part of that as a not-for-profit, working with areas maybe who aren't currently being served by a childcare facility. So having a look at that over the next year. And then with employment services. So having, doubled in size overnight over the past couple of months, we've got some work there to do to get to know the communities, for them to get to know us better, and how we become a partner in those communities. It's not just about having, some staff at an office. We really want to become part of the communities in which we serve. So I would say those are some big priorities for us in the next year.
Excellent, excellent. Well,
Yeah.
listen, thanks so much for your time today, Sabrina.
Thank you, Richard. I really enjoyed it.
No, it was great. I've been speaking with Sabrina Vatcher, CEO of YMCA Cape Breton, and we'll see you next time on Cape Breton Movers and Shakers.